What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. I am your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode 157. Moving on up there. Hopefully, everybody had a good day today. It is Tuesday, March 24th, 2026, year of our Lord. And it's time to get into it, y'all. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of things are going crazy. But you know, this is the show where we got to review it together. Now, housekeeping first. Main thing, if you ever feel like you disagree with anything I say, please leave a comment, leave a message. Let's have a discussion about it. I'm never going to say I'm always right. I'm never going to say I'm always know everything. But let's talk about it together. And the best way to show your support is just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and then hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos. Now, welcome back to the greatest afternoon show in the world. You ain't got to feel that way, but I feel that way. That is all that matters. But it is time to jump into it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. The first topic that we are getting into today is we got to go back over into the LaGuardia crash. So if y'all remember, we talked about this yesterday, but it looks like an air traffic controller initially gave the response for the fire truck to get onto the runway before immediately trying to pull back that order, and that is what ultimately caused the crash. But it seems like at the time of the crash, or the time of this whole incident, there was only 2 controllers in the tower at the time. Now remember, they've been going through a lot of stuff because, one, they're not getting paid right now, and they're required to be at work. And just a lot of people are quitting. But let's get over into these videos and see what we can find out about this whole situation and see what we make of it.
NBC's Sam Brock, who's standing by for us at LaGuardia Airport as well. Sam, we learned a lot from this press conference today. I couldn't say the same about yesterday's press conference, but today we did get a lot. We got everything from the timing, from when this plane actually a touchdown to when that recorder gave out. We got, when in fact that stop came in. We also learned that there were 2 individuals who were in the tower, 2 air traffic controllers, and then that the ASDX system did not actually alert that there was a possibility of a collision because that fire truck did not have a transponder in the vehicle. What stood out to you, Sam, and what are some of the outstanding questions that you still have as you've been covering this story for the last 2 days since the crash?
Yasmin, you know what stood out to me the most was sort of the reflected ambivalence from Jennifer Homendy when she was talking about the chair of the NTSB, obviously, when she was talking about what is the standard operating procedure for the field of aviation, be it LaGuardia or other airports, that you generally have 2 people on their shift in the tower cab overnight. She sort of made it seem like this is essentially how things function. There's less volume. Obviously, you have collaboration between those 2 individuals, but you don't need more people. But we might have to reassess that if you were sort of reading between the lines of her remarks. And I say this in context, having just spoken with a former controller for the FAA for 22 years in cities with lots of volume like Denver and Phoenix. And he told me 2 is a very, very tight margin for error, because of the fact that you have this late night hours. You have people that need to take coffee breaks and bathroom breaks, and so they need to be relieved at various points. When that happens, especially as we're getting late into the morning, you have 1 person potentially that's managing all of these responsibilities at the same time. Like 2 should not be the default. That was his position. We also don't know where exactly those 2 individuals are. Were they both in the cab? Were they in a different part of the tower? We did get more clarity from Homendy earlier that there were in fact 2, but he was telling me that that's not good to begin with. And then also something that he had pointed out, we didn't get this detail from the press conference, but in the audio from the ATC, where you hear them say, one of the controllers, it's not clear who, Frontier, stop, 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 and he lists the flight number. He then says to the fire truck, stop, 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 but there's no noun that precedes it, indicating, hey, listen to me, fire truck, you need to stop, you specifically. I would have loved to have heard that addressed if there was a breach of protocol in that sense, because you have all these vehicles, and this is something that we just learned, according to Ms. Homendy, that there were tons of fire and police vehicles nearby on the runway, and they may not have been obviously understanding who was being told not to go or to go, and it all came just within a matter of seconds. I mean, you ran through that TikTok, right? At 20 seconds, that's when the clearance from the truck came in. 9 seconds, the tower instructs the truck to stop. 6 seconds, 3 seconds later, the pilots transfer controls, and then at 4 seconds, again, the truck is told to stop. So this is all happening in a matter of seconds, and then the collision. I mean, it's just clearly something that was avoidable. And I know Hamidi discussed this chain reaction where it's not just one thing, it's a series of issues. But if there's one takeaway for me, it was her stating that they may need to re-examine the standard operating procedure at LaGuardia and other airports around the country over whether there should just be 2 controllers in the cab in these late night hours.
Now, the main thing I'm wondering about is if that two people in the cab at that time, is that coming from where so many people have been quitting, or is there not enough help, or is that always been the procedure? But let's keep going. Let's keep going into this.
Well, yeah, I mean, and this is, to your point, Sam, this is not a regional airport. You know, I'm sure a lot of the folks watching have flown through LaGuardia Airport. This is a huge airport, a lot of traffic that does not stop at 11 p.m. or midnight, right? Planes are coming in all hours of the night. So the fact that there's only 2 air traffic controllers in that tower, and they don't even necessarily know if there was someone on standby to pick up the slack, if in fact, as you mentioned, someone needed to use the restroom, for instance, is a little bit astounding, I think, to a lot of folks that are likely watching.
Yes, and there were weather conditions on Sunday night as well.
Yeah.
You know, I spoke with several passengers who said it was a very rough landing. Visibility was low. The FAA administrator spoke to that. So these were challenging conditions on top of the fact that it was late in the night, early morning, and it is one of the busiest or most critical airports in the country. You combine all of those factors together and the fact that the default was still 2 people, and we don't even know necessarily how many others may have been there or not. Hamidi discussed the fact that there was conflicting information from the logs as to the staffing. So we're still waiting for more details on that. But it's a confluence of factors. And at the end of the day, you're looking at still this stunning scene, right? Like over my shoulder, that is the aircraft. We were watching, Yasmin, earlier today as members of the NTSB team and perhaps FAA and other investigating agencies were walking through that wreckage and peering over and sort of looking underneath the plane. We don't know what clues specifically they were searching for, but this is all playing out in real time as flights are taking off at LaGuardia. I mean, you have this split screen where this major national investigation is going on, and LaGuardia operates typically 900 flights or so arriving and departing a day. That has been really reduced in the last couple of days. They had somewhere in the effect of 250 or 300 cancellations so far as of an hour ago. That's like 30+% of the total flights of the day. This has affected everybody, but the tragedy of it all is really what's so sobering and what stands out. It's right there in front of you as the rest of aviation here at this airport continues to carry on.
Yeah, we got about 6.
Now, this is think about it. They had all these flight cancellations. Plus, on top of that, there's so much delays at the airport. You're going to have to spend at least 5 hours just trying to get on your plane. This is a wild situation. Let's keep going into it.
60 seconds left, Sam, but that's exactly what I'm thinking of as you're speaking is, you know, that plane right behind you, over your right shoulder, the fact that folks are taking off. It seems that the chairwoman indicated they're still only at the beginning of this investigation. Are there any plans to reopen runway 4 in the next few days or so? And also kind of what passengers are having to deal with in taking off on their own flights and looking at that really horrific sight behind you.
Yeah, I don't have insight as to how people who are here right now, Yasmin, are absorbing emotionally and mentally the sight of seeing this plane as they're taking off down the runway. But I will add, runway 4 is expected to reopen, according to the FAA, on Friday. So presumably it would be business as usual within a couple of days. But we don't know that definitively. That's what the FAA said yesterday.
We did learn a lot today, that is for sure. But
this is a crazy situation. Let's go over to one more video where we're going to look at, it looks like a former traffic controller is speaking about his problems or what he's seen as the problems. Let's go over into it.
I've never seen it before in my career. I know a lot of other pilots, they've never seen it as well. Was this controller
former pilot, I'm sorry,
doing 2 jobs? And if that's the case, we've got a problem. We have a very serious problem. So some of the things that make LaGuardia a challenging airport are, for one, that it's one of the busiest in the country and the world. And as a result, you have lots and lots of moving parts at all times, from aircraft, ground vehicles. That's why it has to be very carefully orchestrated. Everybody has to be hypervigilant about what's happening. The other thing too is LaGuardia is really in a congested area. You've got JFK, you've got Newark, some other really busy airports, large airports. And so one of the concerns, and pilots have expressed concern about this, is the amount of traffic, happening within those three airports and how super busy that airspace is becoming. And so they're asking the FAA to do something, either reduce the number of flights that are going into those airports, maybe figure out some different arrival routes that are safer. Can they talk with the airlines and say, hey, would you guys be willing to give up 2% of your flights into LaGuardia or JFK? Because those are prized airports. I mean, airlines really compete for those airports, and that's a hard sell. It's hard to walk up to the CEO of American Airlines and say, hey, would you be willing to cut your flights into LaGuardia by 2% or JFK? They're probably going to want something in return. At the end of the day, it's all about safety. And pilots are very concerned about this. Yesterday I was talking.
Let's correct what he said. It's all about safety to the pilots. To me, I'm thinking it's all about money for the CEOs of the airliners, but that's just my thinking. Let's keep going.
With a journalist on Canadian TV, and he has a friend who's a commercial pilot who's nervous about flying into the U.S. because of all the congestion. But the FAA is going to have to do something about the number of flights going into the airport to really try to reduce the chances of accidents happening, like we saw yesterday. Yeah, it's runway availability, it's the number of flights that they have. But when you start adding other factors into it, like weather, and it doesn't necessarily have to be weather delays around New York or New Jersey. It can be weather delays in Chicago or Los Angeles, because the air traffic system is so deeply interconnected. If you have delays in one area, it's going to have a ripple effect and affect others. And so that might add a little bit of pressure on flight crews to do those flights into LaGuardia, to JFK, even with these delays. And that can create a dangerous situation. And as you know, we have a shortage of air traffic controllers in this country. The FAA, to its credit, is trying to fill those open positions. And I think Sean Duffy did a press conference yesterday saying they have something like 33 staff at LaGuardia. They're shooting for 37. They've got 6 or 7 in training right now. That's great, but you still have a problem with the shortage of controllers. And
that's the biggest problem about this whole thing, is that there's so much of a shortage, and it takes so long to train them.
And when you have controllers who are working 6-day weeks, working 10, 12-hour shifts beyond their normal shift, that's a problem. And that's where people start getting fatigued, and that's where mistakes begin to occur. And given how high the stakes are with this business, you cannot afford that, at all. I've been a pilot for 15 years, and I've never seen an aircraft collide with a ground vehicle on a runway, resulting in death. It's exceedingly rare. Emergency vehicles do cross runways, but they have to work with air traffic control, and there's a very specific dialogue that has to take place. This was really a freak accident. I've never seen it before in my career. I know a lot of other pilots have been flying longer than me, and they've never seen it as well. So it's concerning. It just reminds us that all of us, like I said, need to be very hyper vigilant when we're around the airport, because so many things are happening. It's so busy. There's so many parts, and you have to have situational awareness all the time. From the time you're pushing back from the gate to the time you're taxiing in. There's so much happening on that airport surface. Lots of moving parts, but that's why we all really need to watch and be alert. And the firefighters did exactly what they were supposed to do. The controller cleared them to go across the runway. They read it back just as they're supposed to. I know there were early reports saying the plane collided with a fire truck at like 24 miles an hour. And for the front of the plane to be smashed like that and to flip that truck over, I mean, those trucks are big, they're heavy. It takes a lot of force to flip one of those things over on its side, and that's what happened here. So that plane was going a lot faster than 24 miles an hour. I heard some reports that it was like 90 or 100. It definitely was a high impact incident. And so it was just a chain of events. Yeah, the fire truck was waiting for clearance to go attend to a United plane. I think they had fumes on board the plane that were making people sick, and so that's why it needed to go. But yeah, emergency vehicles use the same runways, same taxiways, but they have to be in communication with air traffic control.
Now, we got the gist of this video, but a series of unfortunate events that resulted in the deaths of 2 pilots. Now, let me know your thoughts on this situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Now, let's jump over into this next topic we're going to get over into. But remember, y'all, let me know your thoughts on this whole situation. The next topic we're going to jump over into is we have to get over into a tragic situation at a senior living facility. It looks like, imagine you looking at the camera in your mother's apartment who's living with dementia, and you see a random man in there taking off his clothes. That is what we're looking at today, y'all. It looks like at the La Merced Senior Living Facility, a random man was in this woman's mother's apartment. And this woman's mother suffers for dementia, and he ended up sexually assaulting her. Let's go over into it, see what we can find out about this whole case and how this happened. Where was the security at the time? But let's keep going into this. Let's jump into it, y'all. Let's jump into it.
An LA County woman is suing a senior care facility and one of their volunteers for $25 million. She claims her mother was sexually assaulted by a volunteer piano player. Fox 11's Nick Garcia here now with the story you'll see only on Fox 11. Nick?
Right, Christine. Well, this happened. There's shocking video to go along with those disturbing details. This allegedly happened at an independent living community in La Mirada. Now, this story is about sexual abuse. It's a very sensitive topic, and it's very tough to hear and watch. A betrayal of trust and delayed justice. Camille Anderson moved her mom, who has dementia, into La Mirada Heights Senior Living Community 4 years ago, believing it would be a safe space. That belief torn to shreds last summer when prosecutors say Jonathan Alvarado raped her mother. Alvarado was a volunteer piano player at La Mirada Heights. The whole nightmare caught on camera.
I just screamed.
Anderson set up Ring cameras throughout her mom's apartment because of her dementia-related symptoms. Here is some of that shocking footage. You see Alvarado in the victim's bedroom, taking his clothes off. An hour later, you see him here, emerging from the bedroom, naked. Alvarado throws a condom in the trash can, then gets dressed. Anderson was at work when this happened, but started receiving several motion-triggered notifications from Ring.
When I had a chance to go back to my office and check my phone, I see on the notification picture that there was a man in the room bending down, tying his shoes.
Now, my first question is, what did the mother have to say about this? I know she was suffering from dementia-like symptoms. Did she know who the man was? Did she think that he was somebody else? Did she know that it was some kind of relationship? Or is it simply because she had dementia that they're calling it sexual assault? But let's keep going into this.
She called the facility and says 2 workers entered the room to check on her mother.
Are you naked, Mama?
Notice her confusion as they ask questions.
Are you okay? Everything okay? Yeah? Who's the guy who was here? Think about it, Mama, and slow, so you can tell me.
Do you know what happened? She's like, no. Okay, did you want to have sex, Mom? No.
Alvarado is facing felony charges, 1 count for rape, 1 for a lewd act on a dependent adult.
Kind of following the advice of the detective.
Anderson says the LA County District Attorney's Office has been slow to prosecute this case. She and her lawyer question why the DA has not announced it publicly, because they believe there could be more victims.
You expect a certain level of security and protection, and that does not appear to have been the case for my client.
We went to La Mirada Heights looking for answers. The manager on site could not speak with us on camera, but we did receive this statement saying in part, quote, "We are disturbed by these allegations and will fully cooperate with any criminal investigation. Because this matter involves an ongoing criminal case and out of respect for the privacy of our resident, it is not appropriate to comment further," end quote.
Justice looks like in this case that the facility will be held responsible and liable for their negligence in this case and their continued negligence from what we understand.
Anderson has filed a $25 million lawsuit against the company and the suspect, claiming negligence, sexual abuse, and elder abuse.
They helped him. They helped him do it, essentially. They opened the door for this to happen.
An open door to a person she feels should have never been trusted in the first place.
That's a crazy situation. Now, of course, yes, I think they're liable because more security should have been around, especially monitoring who's coming and going. But they're saying that he should have never been there. Does he have any criminal past that makes him say that? Or was he just, this is the first time, which most likely not, but is this the first time he was ever criminally charged for something this crazy? Let's go over into this next video and just see if they give us any more details.
Now at 11, the disturbing case of sexual assault inside a La Mirada Senior Living Center caught on security camera. Tonight, we're hearing from the victim's daughter. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kathy Vara in for Carolyn. The attack happened last summer, and today we're seeing part of the video and hearing from her daughter and the family attorney. NBC4's Darsha Phillips is in the newsroom now with the story. Darsha?
Well, Kathy, Camille Anderson set up cameras in plain sight in her mother's apartment and says the sexual assault was captured on those cameras. Now, we're not identifying the victim, Camille's mother, and we want to warn you the content and the video in this story is disturbing. La Mirada Heights Independent Living Facility was supposed to be a safe place for Camille Anderson's mother, who suffers from dementia.
I moved her there because I trusted them and I thought that she would be safe.
But last June, that trust and safety was shattered when prosecutors say Jonathan Alvarado raped Camille's 61-year-old mother.
He just walked in and no one checked or asked why.
You got to be one sick freak to do that to a 74-year-old woman with dementia.
Why are you here on a day that you aren't scheduled to be here?
Camille says the horrific encounter was captured on cameras she set up in her mother's apartment.
I was receiving more notifications from her apartment than I usually do while I was at work.
When Camille checked the cameras, she saw a man in her mother's apartment and immediately alerted the facility's caregivers. This is video of them entering her apartment and finding Camille's mother nude and confused.
Are you naked, Mama? Who's the guy who was here?
When Camille reviewed the footage, she saw a man taking off his clothes and going into her room. Investigators later identified the man as Alvarado. Camille says cameras inside her mother's room captured what happened next.
He was engaging in a sexual act with my mom. However, because of her diagnosis, she's not able to consent.
About 2 hours later, Alvarado is seen leaving the room and getting dressed. Camille turned the videos over to investigators. She is now suing La Mirada Heights for $25 million for negligence.
When the sheriff's department was attempting to effectuate their arrest, they couldn't find him because the records that the community had on file did not match who he was.
The La Mirada Heights Independent Living Facility released this statement. The safety and well-being of our residents is our top priority. We are disturbed by these allegations and will fully cooperate with any criminal investigation. Because this matter involves an ongoing criminal case and out of respect for the privacy of our residents, it is not appropriate to comment further. Alvarado was taken into custody in June, released, and then not formally arraigned until January of this year. He's charged with rape and a lewd act on a dependent adult. He's currently out on bond.
Yeah, 100% they need to be held liable. What you mean that the information didn't match who he actually was?
Yeah, unfortunately, it just moved slower than I would have hoped.
The DA's office said in a statement that the sheriff's department did not bring additional victims to our attention. Camille believes this likely happened to her mother on more than one occasion and other vulnerable residents at the facility.
I wouldn't doubt that if not my mother, it could have happened to anyone else in that facility.
Tonight, after pressing the sheriff's department, it released a statement saying in part, given the predatory nature of the alleged offenses and Alvarado's repeated access to vulnerable elderly individuals through his role, investigators have reason to believe there may be additional unidentified victims. As for Camille's mother, she is still at La Mirada Heights. Camille hopes she will be able to move her soon.
Just moving her or anyone with a type of dementia can increase their decline.
And Camille says she has video evidence of Alvarado undressing in her mother's apartment in May, in addition to the alleged rape captured on camera in June. And the sheriff's department is asking for potential victims to come forward by contacting the Special Victims Bureau. Live in the newsroom tonight, I'm...
So he did it twice? Yeah, I understand how it's going to be hard to move her just because of her diagnosis. But you got to do it as quickly as you can, get her up out of there, because they did not protect her at all. And most likely they will win the lawsuit. Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to see any more details we can find out about this whole case. But this is a crazy situation, y'all. So as we know, so they talked about Jonathan, 39 years old, volunteer piano player. They say that they captured on a Ring camera. They say he was contracted volunteer who performed music for the residents. The family legal team alleged the facility failed to properly supervise him, allowing him unauthorized access to the victim's room for over an hour. They are suing them for $25 million, alleging negligence and a failure to protect its vulnerable residents. The management has issued a statement saying that they are disturbed by it, of course, but they're saying that they will fully cooperate. I want to know, does he... Let's see if he was charged with any more criminal stuff in the past. So they said there may be additional victims. No official confirmed the reports of him having prior criminal record. Okay. But he faces several different charges. We got the rape of a person incapable of giving consent, committing a lewd act on a dependent adult, and elder abuse. Wow. Imagine this was happened to your mother. Would you blame the facility? Most likely, yes. Question is, how many other women did he do this to? How many people who can't remember did he do this to? So that's why you always have to keep an eye on the older generation and what is happening around them, because sometimes they can't look out for themselves, and the people who are paid to look after them don't even do their job. It's a wild situation, y'all, but let me know your thoughts and let me know how much time you think he should get. They're not going to get... A lot of times they won't give this type of stuff life, but in my opinion, these crimes like this deserve a life sentence. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Absolutely wild. We're going to pivot now into our third topic we're going to get into today. And we got to go over into a crazy story that popped up on my recommendeds. We got a quadruple amputee / professional cornhole player / murderer. Yes, I said all that. So we got into it, a few videos that we'll look at, and then of course we'll go over into the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information into this whole case. But let's jump into it and see what our thoughts are.
Now to a very unusual murder investigation in Maryland, where the suspect is a quadruple amputee known as one of the top professional cornhole players in America. Stranger than fiction. 27-year-old Dayton Weber faces a series of charges. Chanel Call looks at the case against the man who was once considered an inspiration.
Dayton Weber, one of the greatest stories in all of cornhole.
Dayton Weber has garnered national attention for overcoming long odds, winning professional cornhole tournaments as a quadruple amputee.
I actually came up with my own kind of quote that got me through everything, and that's "the world won't wait."
But police now say Weber is charged with first and second-degree murder. On Sunday night, Weber was driving in his Tesla SUV in La Plata, Maryland, with 3 friends, when police say a conversation got heated.
The driver and the front seat passenger were apparently engaged in an argument, but I'm not sure what about.
One of the people in the back seat told investigators Weber shot and killed 27-year-old Bradrick Michael Wells. According to that witness, Weber then pulled over and asked them and another person in the back seat to help him remove Wells's body from the car. They refused and got out of the vehicle. Weber drove off, and 2 hours later,
a resident called 911 to say that they saw what appeared to be a body lying in somebody's yard.
Police identified the body as Wells. Weber was eventually found at a nearby hospital in Virginia, where he was arrested. A gun enthusiast, Weber posted videos to his personal YouTube channel showing him loading and firing several shots from a handgun. Investigators say it's another skill he's mastered.
His abilities, his capabilities are well documented on the intranet, and all you have to do is look at that.
Weber is now awaiting extradition back to Maryland.
The whole time, as soon as they said shoot, I was like, how could he get a good aim and shoot? But this man's a professional at what he does. He has mastered his body. Let's keep going to see if there's anything else.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Chanel Call.
Let's go over to that next video.
Welcome back. Now to a very unusual murder investigation in Maryland where the suspect is a quadruple amputee and he's one of the top professional cornhole players in America. CBS News correspondent Chanel Call joins us now with more. And Chanel, what more can you tell us about this case?
Well, look, Mugo, this is a bizarre and disturbing story. At the center of this story is someone who would be considered to be an inspiration up until now, 27-year-old Dayton Weber. This is someone who is a quadruple amputee and also a star cornhole player. He is a professional cornhole player who's won multiple tournaments before, but now police, Mugo, believe that he is also a murderer. So how did this happen? Well, police say that Weber was out with a couple of friends. He had 3 people in his vehicle. He was driving his Tesla SUV in La Plata, Maryland on Sunday night when this happened. They say that someone who was in the vehicle told them that things got heated in that vehicle. They say one of the people who were in the back seat told investigators that Weber actually shot and killed 27-year-old Bradrick Michael Wells. That person also told police that Weber then pulled the car over, asked the 2 remaining passengers who were inside the vehicle at that moment to help him pull Wells's body out of the vehicle. Those 2 people told police, Mugo, they refused to do so and that they then got out of the car and left the scene. They say Weber then drove away and that Wells's body was found 2 hours later.
A resident called 911 to say that they saw what appeared to be a body lying in somebody's yard.
So Weber was eventually found, Mugo, at a nearby hospital in Virginia just a couple of hours later after he was arrested. Investigators also described this as someone who is a gun enthusiast. What does that mean? Well, look at some of the videos on your screen right now. These are videos that he posted to his personal YouTube channel, which obviously show him loading and firing several shots from a handgun, as you see there. Weber was charged with 1st and 2nd degree murder. As for next steps in this case, he is waiting to be extradited back to Maryland.
All right, Chanel.
Now, this is a crazy situation. Let's go over to the AI breakdown. But I do have a question. 1st and 2nd degree murder. Why both? He only killed one person. I was assuming you would just go with 1st degree. Or are they just trying to see which one sticks? But let's get over into it and see what we can find out, y'all. And see what we can find out. So, as we know, he is 27 years old, professional cornhole player, quadruple amputee, was arrested on March 23rd. It happened on Sunday, March 22nd. He was driving his Tesla. During an argument, he allegedly shot the front seat passenger, 27-year-old Bradrick Michael Wells, twice in the head. And he's got an aim. Well, he's right beside him, but still. After the shooting, he reportedly pulled over, asked the passengers to help. They refused, like we know. Allegedly, he drove off with the victim's body, eventually dumping it in the resident's yard. He was located at a hospital seeking treatment for an unrelated medical issue where he was arrested. He is charged with 1st degree, 2nd degree murder, 1st degree assault, and the use of firearm in a commission of a felony. As we know, he's a well-known American Cornhole League champion. So why 1st? Spelled that wrong, but hey, we'll get it. So in Maryland, he is facing both first-degree and second-degree charges for the fatal shooting. Prosecutors often file both charges to ensure that the best chance for securing a conviction depending on what they can prove regarding the defendant's intent and level of planning. Okay, makes sense. That's what I was thinking. What argument makes someone throw their life away like this? And then he thought he had, I guess he thought he had some people who was really down with him say, yeah, come on, help me get rid of this body out the car. They looked at you, they looked at him crazy. No, we good. He drove off, had to do it himself. Ended up getting caught 2 hours later. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all, but we will keep up with this to see exactly what he gets charged for, what his defense will be. Was he going to file for self-defense? How is he going to plead? But let's keep up with this story. But let me know your thoughts on that, and let me know if you disagree with anything I said, y'all. Absolutely tragic situation. Man, got some killer in. We're going to pivot now into our last topic we're going to be discussing today. And we have to go over to New York, where we got a historic, in this county, a historic torture, murder conviction. It's the first that's ever happened. And it looks like a woman did some awful things with her partner and ended up doing it out of love. That's what some people are saying. But we'll get over into it and see what our thoughts are on this whole case and see what we can find out, y'all. But let's jump into it. We're going to look at the news report from 2 years ago and then the most recent updated stuff. But let's jump into it.
Getting new details tonight in a disturbing crime in New Rochelle. A woman's being held without bail, accused of killing her roommate and hiding her body in their apartment.
CBS 2's Tony Aiello has some new details, including how police say they broke the suspect's alibi.
Franklin Avenue, a generally quiet street with well-kept multifamily homes. Here at number 155, a gruesome find. Police discovered the body of a woman in a storage bin in a third-floor apartment.
I just saw her last week, and this is very tragic.
Jillian Dunkley says she knows the victim, who police have not formally identified.
Very, very kind, have a heart of gold. She was just looking for shelter and friendship.
The felony complaint details charges against 40-year-old Kenya Tilford, accusing her of suffocating her roommate and then concealing the body for at least a week. Police say last Friday, someone reported seeing the body. A quick investigation led them to Tilford, and she was in custody by that afternoon. According to court documents, Kenya Tilford told New Rochelle police she was out of town last week in Virginia, but police had evidence that was a lie. The evidence, Tilford seen on surveillance video earlier in the week at the nearby Home Depot store. The felony complaint says she obtained a coverall, bleach, tarps, a storage bin, and a chainsaw. The body was found intact, not dismembered. This neighbor considered the suspect menacing.
She pretends to have this good image, but she has a black soul. She should never be let out of prison for the rest of her life.
In the complaint, hints of a possible defense. Tilford told police she used drugs and took meds to treat mental illness. Tony Aiello, CBS.
But you know, they always go to that mental illness defense. But let's keep going. Let's go over to this next video, the most recent one.
Family members of the late Conchetta Morton say justice was served today.
Whatever she was looking for when she was looking for love, she found it. She found it in the arms of our Lord and Savior.
They shared this Instagram video with us after Morton's girlfriend, Kenya Tilford, was found guilty of torturing her for months, then killing her and storing her body in her apartment in 2023. The jury's verdict came in after over 2 full days of deliberations.
Is this verdict unanimous? Yes, it is.
Tilford showed no emotion as the verdict was read. However, District Attorney Susan Kakay says this outcome is historic, as it's the first time that the office has prosecuted a torture murder charge.
The verdict was appropriate. This defendant is an unusual defendant. She's a torturer. She's a serial offender.
Tilford was also found guilty of sexually abusing 2 other people. Her defense attorneys say this was one of the hardest cases that they've ever worked on.
Everyone lost something.
The best and only defense in this case was the medical examiner. Yeah, 2 different medical examiners that autopsied the deceased. Neither one found any signs of asphyxia.
Sentencing is scheduled for April, and the DA's office says they will seek the maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Defense attorneys say they will file a notice of appeal and put in a sentencing memorandum asking for a lesser sentence.
You know it's a hard case when your own defense attorney says that this is one of the hardest things they've ever tried to defend against. And they barely had anything they could say. Wow. Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information on this whole case. But this is a tragic situation. So as we know, we got in March 20th, 2026, they found Kenya, 43, guilty of torture and murder of her 27-year-old intimate partner. The trial considered historic as it was the first time the Westchester District Attorney Office successfully prosecuted the first-degree murder charge under the state's torture murder provision. So she was convicted on 18 counts, including first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and multiple felonies, including sexual abuse, kidnapping, and the intimidation of 2 other former intimate partners. So they're saying that the prosecutor established that she lured the victim, who had developed disabilities, away from her family in April 2023. Over several months, she systematically abused, starved, and tortured her before strangling her in September 2023 and hiding her body in a storage bin. They presented cell phone information, and then they showed her different videos of her berating her and assaulting her. Additionally, they revealed the significant blood stains in her apartment, which they allegedly attempted to hide with very red paint. The defense argued that medical examiners did not initially find signs of asphyxiation during autopsies and challenged the murder case with the sexual abuse charges involving other victims. So they're planning to be sentence her April 23rd, 2026. Prosecutors are seeking the maximum sentence, which is life in prison without the possibility of parole. And the defense attorney, like they said, they're trying to get it lowered. But life in prison sounds pretty good to me. That doesn't sound like I would be upset with that. She deliberately grabbed someone who was feeble and who was, maybe you could say, an easy target. But she grabbed them with the only thing in mind with it, to torture them and abuse them and sexually assault them. This is the type of woman who needs to be locked up for the rest of her life and never out with the common people again. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all, and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a tragic situation. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Now that is the end of the 4th topic we're going to came to discuss today. Let's see what time it is. We got 45 minutes. We got some time to go over a little something else. This might be a little longer video, but let's get over into it. It looks like we're going to go over into body cam footage, which you know I love to look at. And we got a crazy title. It's called Escort Lures a Man to a Brutal Murder Over an Unpaid Service. First of all, you shouldn't be trying to go buy box anyway in the first place, but let's see what this whole situation is about and go through this body cam footage and see what our thoughts are. Let's jump over into it and see what we can learn.
911, where is your emergency?
No, my friend been shot. But the other person is still in the house with my friend.
You say your friend been shot.
I went to my neighbor's house.
Okay, ma'am, did somebody shoot your friend at your house?
Yes.
Who shot him? Who shot him?
I don't know his name.
It's 11 p.m. at an apartment complex in Macon, Georgia, where police respond to a report of a shooting.
She called him back and told him at 208D. And she hears knocking at the door. Sheriff's office. Distraction. Yeah. Dispatch. See if you can locate that call. This might be a distraction call. See if they can. Huh? Hey, Mom.
With no answer at the door, officers head downstairs to try to find answers.
I'm trying to make contact with the caller. She's not answering the phone.
Knock on one of these doors, see if they heard a gunshot. I don't know, these folks should be packed out here. Something went down here. Hey, you stay here? Which apartment?
It's upstairs, my friend. I think he's dead.
Hold on, dispatch. We got a bounce with it. We got to make contact with someone. I'm sorry, we were just trying to make sure it was you. We're sorry, man. So what now?
Police later identify the woman, seen here, as 27-year-old Jada Johnson, their 911 caller and soon-to-be suspect.
How do you get into the door?
The back door is unlocked, but the front door, I locked it. But when I ran and got my kids, I locked the front door.
Where your kids at?
They're with the neighbor right now.
Okay, who's upstairs?
It's my friend.
Is he shot?
Yes, he's been shot. I don't know if he's alive. I didn't get to check. I don't know.
All right.
Did someone come around back there?
You was just walking on the backside.
Yeah, I was trying to get your attention.
Okay.
Jada tells police her friend had been shot in her apartment by an unknown male and leads officers to the back entrance.
Show us which way to get in.
We gotta go.
Yeah, come on, show us around. What happened, man? What happened?
It's the next one.
Next one. What happened, man? Y'all came inside?
Yeah, my friend was trying to fight
Which one? Sheriff's office.
Before we get into here, now remember what the title of this video was. It was an escort basically set this murder up. So she was escorting with her kids in the house. That's my first thought after seeing the inside. But let's keep going into this.
Sheriff's office. Got one down.
Inside, police find 39-year-old Waymond Danzy with an apparent gunshot wound to the chest, according to court documents. Waymond was pronounced dead on scene a short time later. Next, more backup arrives when all eyes turn to Jada for answers.
Hey, who are you? You live here? Hey, what happened? Hold on. Stay back. What happened? What happened, though? There's two rivers over here. Hey, secure her in the car. Okay. Come on, let's go this way. Go this way with me. Come on. I need you to go with me, man. I need some more.
Why do I need to be secure before I go into jail?
Just go with me. No, you're not. Just go with me.
Why is the first thing that comes to her mind is she going to jail?
Please, just let me know.
I'll let you know, man. Just go with me, okay? Come on. Let's go this way. As soon as they come out with the ambulance, I'll let you know, okay? Walk this way so you won't fall. Come on. You got some ID on you?
It might be inside my house.
Okay. You got it? Come over this way. I think they got the door open now. We got going through the back. Come on, ma'am. Ma'am, come on, me. It's upstairs. They open the door. Oh, it's over this way. Damn, my bad. Come over here. Just have a seat in there for me, okay?
Are you gonna close the door?
Ma'am, have a seat in there for me, okay? I'll roll the window down for you, okay?
It just feels like I can't breathe.
I'm gonna roll the window down for you. All right, stand by right there for me.
Jada is secured in a patrol car and escorted to the police station, where we'll catch up with her later. Meanwhile, officers on scene continue trying to figure out what happened here.
Looks like you're hitting the chest. Shell casing. Yeah, right there for the door. 10-4 dispatch, we got a shell casing. You might want to go ahead and notify the investigator the crime lab.
10-4.
What's up, nigga? She got scratches on her hand too. Yeah, I know that. She ain't telling me. Yeah, you definitely. Yeah, watch that shell casing. Yeah. Yeah, 184. Yeah, he's gone. Her story ain't violent, so yeah, they not. Yeah, just hold it right quick. I'm gonna call Kenny. It's gonna be a crazy night.
Next, a detective reads Jada her Miranda rights back at the station before questioning her further.
From the beginning, tell me everything from the beginning to the end again. You know, there'll be more detail and explain everything, all right? From the beginning, like how you, when you met Wayman, to this guy, until what happened when you encountered with me.
I wasn't really exactly when I met Wayne, but I know it was September.
September.
It was around September because I had to pay the rent, and I was
You paid rent in September?
Yes.
Okay.
I paid rent in September, but it was late.
Jada tells the detective she met the victim on an online dating site while working as an escort.
Yes. He contacted me on me seeing my ad, and then you know, we ended up having a conversation, and he had came by. But when he came by, you know, I wasn't really dealing with a lot of stuff, and we were just talking. You know, I was telling him just basically just, I don't know, I felt comfortable with him. Like, I didn't get a weird or, you know, vibe from him or anything. So we just was talking, and he actually had left. I had someone else come by, and then he stayed out there. And then he ended up coming back. He actually took me to a gas station. He came back. We
Just same day when you met him?
Yeah.
Okay.
From there, like, he just, I'm not gonna say like he wasn't like obsessed or anything. He just, from that day, the moment he met me, you know, he said he could tell that this is not, you know, he could tell I was different from the other girls. He just was, at this point, he became like, it was like, he was like a guardian angel for me. He wanted to make sure I was okay. You know, if something was wrong, call him. Even if he just had met me in the car. To sound crazy, it might be, I don't know, but he wanted to make sure I was okay.
Jada.
So did he have some kind of like savior's complex where he wanted to bring her out of this life? Let's keep going.
Explains how her and Wayman had grown close in the months leading up to the shooting before delving into the details of another client, who she says sparked an alleged revenge plot after the mystery man refused to pay.
The first time was that you said, tell me how, you asked for the money. You said you got vision for the cash out.
Yeah, like kept lying about
And then you told me.
couldn't get it. So I said, okay, well, how about you just come back once you get everything situated? Like, it's no issues, no problems, just come back and get everything situated. Because I just kind of like, I already can tell bullshit, but I don't want to kick out of my house. I didn't want to,
come out of there.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to keep everything cordial so this man can go and stuff. And then, I don't know, he took that as like, oh, I was weak or something. So then he just like, he not leaving.
He told you or he just wanted to leave?
He said he's not leaving.
Okay.
He came here already. Why I gotta come back? I'm already here. I'm not leaving. I just had to pay this nigga gas money so I could come over here. No, it's just this, and he got the whole time, he got the gun out.
Okay. When you do that?
At this point, he got the gun, and he pointed at me, like, so what you gonna do?
Okay.
He get me. I'm not going nowhere. You got cameras in here. He walking around trying to look at stuff. You forced me to get it. You hit me. So then he got done, and he just like, oh yeah, here, request this, taking the money from this cash app. He gave it 2 cash apps. It's not showing up. So I just say, look, it's okay. Just, you got no cash app, and you see, because when he was sitting on the bed, he told me to send it before any of this, before he ever pulled the gun out and stuff. He gave me look my app, like, send it to me on these screens. Then he, I just said, you got my cash app? And just trying to get my dollar. Don't even worry about it. Once you get this situation, you got the cash app. Just send it to me.
Okay. How much you supposed to get you for that?
125.
125 for okay. But he won't. I mean, he just
$125.
He basically didn't pay you for what he did, correct? He took it.
Yeah.
Took it. Took.
He didn't have the money.
He didn't have money to pay.
He didn't have the money.
He wanted everything for free.
Yeah. Then from there, I went back in my room. My kids was in the other room. I went back in the room, and I just sat there and cried until and then I called. That's when I texted my sister, and called her, and I was telling her what was going on and stuff. And I just sat there behind the fire, explained everything. Yeah, we hit barricaded my door. When I hung up the phone with her, I had a message on Peter, and it was from him, and that's when he texted me good with question mark. I never responded. I heard call my sister back. I'm like, he just called me. He just texted, and that's when I went to barricade the doors.
You heard that right. Jada says her alleged assailant sent her a message saying, quote, "We good?" after the incident. A message she says she later showed to Waymond before the pair allegedly decided to get even.
Oh, okay.
That's when Wayne, because Wayne got mad.
Oh, okay. Okay, so when the text message started coming in from him,
like everything was okay.
So you showed why I'm telling you.
I'm like, he keep calling me, he keep texting me and stuff. Like, I don't understand why he's
And then what did Wyman say?
That's Wyman, like, okay, well, he thinks shit's sweet, so I'm gonna show it that it's not.
And what did you say when he said that?
I said nothing. What was you say?
And they ain't worried about it no more. You try to say they ain't worried about it no more, it's over with.
No, I said that yesterday when he was supposed to come with 5 o'clock. I told Wayne, like, I'm not worried about that. At the end of the day, if you do something to him, it's not gonna be just that. It's gonna be a lot more that come with it. You get me? He got hit.
Now I don't know about y'all, but that sounds like she just made that up. Because honestly, heard what she just said. She said, "Oh, what am I supposed to say to him?" But I actually said that I'm not even worried about it no more.
If he someone dropped him off before, you gotta how they gonna look? His friend, you feel me? They shot their partner off and the partner don't come back out. He said that's when he said the friend came. He said that he was gonna go out there and draw down on them too. He was gonna take everything they had.
Rob them?
Yeah, he was gonna rob them. He was gonna make them pull their pants down to their ankles. He had a whole plan. Yeah.
So did he tell you to go along with it?
He did.
He did.
He said that when that was supposed to take place, he wanted me to he wanted me to, you know, keep my gun on the guy while he was in the house.
Why did you agree to it?
I didn't agree to killing nobody.
Oh, I think, you know, why you agreed to just use it? Come on, so it got you that mad because I guess, no. So basically, out of all people you interact with on Pinga, you never got gypped out of your mouth, correct? You never got paid, correct?
I never did. I never did care about the money.
So we just, how he did it.
How he did it.
It made you that mad.
Yes, it broke me, and it had me feel paranoid, losing my mind. It was. I don't care about the money.
All right.
With the alleged robbery plan in mind, the detective reviews messages Jada says she sent to the intended target to allegedly lure him to her apartment, where Waymond would be waiting for him.
I'm trying to come over there. You know that. What time is it? Okay, 7. Then he said, you still didn't send me that cash out. Okay, can you wait till around 9 so I can put my kids to bed? And he's all right, babe. And he said that way we can Netflix and chill. All right, so at the time, you said you called Wayman and said, so tell me to Wayman and said,
he called me.
He called.
Mm-hmm.
So and then he said, okay, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And what time what time did you open the door?
11:26, but he wasn't there.
Okay, so that was 11:03. You text him. You text Wayman said he's calling.
He called me.
And he said 20 minutes.
He said.
So Wayman beat him there.
Yeah.
All right. So when Wayman got there, what did Wayman do when he get in? So Wayman gets in. He walks in.
Mm-hmm.
So what did come in the shop? What Wayman do when he get there? He beat.
Okay, now this part is a little foggy. Just waking up still.
Okay.
I had just went to sleep. Probably been sleeping, and Wayne came in. I opened the door. I said he probably understood.
I said he don't care.
He probably he don't
And then what did he say?
I gave him the phone so he see everything. I kept him calling, and he like that's perfect. That's perfect. He got here right on time. He's now walking back to what, like I said, I heard the Velcro. And when I finally seen his hands, he had put the gloves, had some black gloves on.
What did he tell you to do?
He told me to he said, when you open the door, he said, have your gun on you. And he said, no, he told me to have my gun out. Like, when I opened the door, he wanted me to just draw down on him or something.
Draw down already?
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. He like, yeah, no, let that nigga know you don't play that shit. You mean business,
So he told you to do it, so you put your gun in there because he told you? Yeah. Okay. So you put your gun in your waistline?
Yeah.
So then what happened? So did you knock at the door or what happened?
He was knocking at the door.
He was?
He was, but I started panicking.
So what did he do?
He's standing right here with the kitchen is. We down and I'm trying to do what am I supposed to do? Yeah, I don't know what am I supposed to do. Go over the door.
And what did he do?
He was standing right where the walkway is to go to the room.
The bedroom right there.
And I'm like, man, if I open that door, he gonna see you. It's a bright light out there, he gonna see what you just gonna start shooting as soon as I open the door. Because he was telling me before, all you gotta do is just duck, and I'm just like, no, I'm gonna get shot in the process.
So he was gonna kill him.
I guess so.
No. I'm gonna ask, what did he tell you he was gonna do?
He told me he was gonna make him pay. He didn't say I'm gonna kill him, but he said I'm gonna make him pay.
Okay, and
he said he gonna know. He said he was gonna know to never fuck somebody ever again. Now, but then he also said he's not gonna be able to just walk away from you. He said you walk away, he don't come back.
Okay. So you freaking and you standing towards your bedroom and your kids' room in that little dark area.
At first we in the kitchen area.
So what did he tell you to bring? Did he tell you to leave him somewhere or did he just
he went. That's when he went further by bathroom. So he came behind the walls, so now he can't see him.
Because
and he told me to open the door.
You just want okay. So you didn't want to get shot per se, but you wanted just him to get shot but you want to put him in a position to get shot, only him.
I didn't. Everybody sounds very bad.
No, I want you to explain what was the purpose, what was his purpose, what was the purpose that arranged?
I didn't want him to see Wayman, and he pulled his gun out on me.
Who did? Who pulled the gun on you?
I didn't want the guy to pull his gun out on me.
Jada explains how Wayman allegedly hid in a hallway area, planning to rob the man as he arrived. But what she says happened next didn't exactly go as planned.
He ducked out in the dark way.
In the dark way, yeah. She backed up a little bit. So I opened the door.
What's up, man? So can you show me?
I unlocked it. When he came in, I said, my kid is asleep, so don't be loud. So he walked to the kitchen.
In the kitchen now?
Not. Well, he's in here, like where the stove and stuff is, but he's right here next to the walkway. The hallway. And,
so you told me he had no water?
I didn't have no water. And then he goes back now he's back in the walkway, but my room door is closed.
So you didn't tell him to go back there? Is he walking
No, he just went to the room.
Okay, so then tell him, so this walk like he's going to your room.
He's walking, and my room door is closed. He's in his phone, doing whatever he's doing, and the light from the phone, when he look up, he turned, and he just start backing up. And that's when he told me, gonna get out on me. Get out.
And what you do?
I'm backing up, because at this point, he's stepping all on me.
Okay, you behind him?
I'm behind him. He's stepping on me.
Okay.
And I back up, and I go towards the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, they in there tussling, throwing each other into the walls, and all types of stuff. And
Wayman already gun draw down.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
So he, I don't know how they even started tussling, because he had the gun drawn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they just, I think maybe the guy like jumped at him or something, or maybe Wayman wanted to beat him up or something. Like I don't know. I just know when he was in the corner by Christian Street, I seen Wayne punching him a couple times, punching him.
Yeah,
and now while he was over here, dude was saying, because Wayne was talking to him, like, you heard it. He like, I got the money for you, I got the money. I came here to bring you the money.
Whatever the dude
said. The dude was saying, and Wayne was like, no, mine, you wasn't bringing her no money. You told her saying her kids was here, so they keep talking to him. They talking back and forth while they fighting. But now at this point, they all over the house, holes in the wall. They just all over, knocking over everything. And I guess once Wayman felt like he was getting the best of him, that's when he told me to shoot him.
What is it? How you said?
He said, shoot that, shoot this.
You did?
I didn't shoot him.
I know what I'm saying. What you did? Did you draw the gun up?
Like, yeah, but
how you did it? Show me how you did it. Where they was standing, where they was positioned at when he told you to shoot the joke?
Right here. Wayman.
By the front door right here?
Yeah, by the front door, where Wayne was, where he was found at.
So, you was standing, where about you standing?
I was standing at this point, this the living room.
So what you did? Did you already gun all that, or you had to put it out?
I had my gun out the moment they started fighting.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't know what was going to happen. Like, I didn't know if he was going to knock the gun out of Wayne's hand and pull his gun out. So I just had my gun out so he wouldn't shoot it.
Mm-hmm. So then what happened?
They fighting, and within the midst of them fighting, my gun gets knocked out of my hand, and the clip comes out. So Wayman's telling me to shoot him, and I'm like I can't. I can't shoot him. He hit me. I can't shoot him. At this point, I'm about to go and get my key, and I'm about to leave. But I hear a gunshot. So I left the keys.
Jada says the pair's plan literally backfired when Wayman ended up shot in the incident before she called police. Next, the 27-year-old is informed that investigators don't exactly think she's innocent in the situation.
You take it off. Take it off. Let me check. All right. Well, I got some bad news, all right? Yeah. Yeah. Ain't looking good. What you went on? The fact that
you actively assisted with attempted robbery that could have ended in death, or that ended in death, really. Even though it backfired, but yes, you going to jail. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to jail.
That this is arranged how it's arranged, and it's my doubting process. That's why.
I'm going in jail for murder.
It's what now? Yeah.
No, that can't be right. No.
You know, it's crazy. The dude who they set up, of course, even though he wasn't trying to pay her, he got away with it. Or he's not going to be charged for anything because he's technically the victim. Wow. Let's keep going.
Jada was booked for felony murder and aggravated assault. As part of a deal, prosecutors later dropped the murder charge while Jada pleaded guilty to aggravated assault. Court records show the 27-year-old was sentenced to 5 years behind bars, followed by 15 years of probation. But the question remains, who was the mystery man who allegedly pulled the trigger? At last check, no information on possible suspects has been released.
Couldn't they like track his phone? They had his number, or maybe he was using a burner phone, but wow.
Yeah, it's on the...
Okay, I'm with you. All right, so we're going to put the...
Do you have anything in your pocket?
Ain't no need to panic now, baby girl. It's over with.
Pull out your pocket.
It's over with. It's a crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that situation. Let me know how you feel about it. But that is a wild situation. And the man still has not been caught. Still, well, I guess did he do anything wrong? That's the question. Did he do anything wrong? The man who shot him. At the end of the day, it was self-defense. He was getting set up on even though he wasn't paying for the prostitute. So is there even a need to find him? But 5 years, 15 years of probation. All because she couldn't pay her rent. Crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. But that is it for the show today, y'all. It's a crazy world we live in, but we got to review the world together, y'all. We have to review the world together. Like always, if you disagree with anything I say, please leave a comment. I'm never going to say I'm always right. I'm never going to say I understand everything, but we have to review the world together, y'all. The best way to show your support is just to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos, y'all. The world is a crazy place, but you already know I got to play that outro. Peace.